Hey guys, Coty here again. It's vlog 3 of our final semester. It's November 4th, and we got about a month and a week left, including Thanksgiving week. We're getting right down to the end, and it's pretty exciting. Um, Super ready to be done, for things to slow down, get into a normal routine, not have to worry about rushing home to do homework all the time. So I'm super excited that we're almost done. We've got like 8 more clinical days left, and then some practice tests, and then the big day. So we're getting there. I've got my questions here for my vlog. We've got 6 of them this time. First question: what are my favorite services and why? I don't really have a favorite service yet. I mean, I didn't want to pick a favorite service while I was still in clinicals, and then kind of, I don't know, drift towards that one, drift away from certain ones. I kind of wanted to just keep an open mind, try to enjoy all of them. If I had to pick one, probably general or plastics, maybe ortho. I like working with the power tools, but ortho's super duper involved, lots of things going on. Gets kind of chaotic, and it's a bit much still. Definitely wouldn't want to do it on my own yet. Maybe the smaller cases I would be okay with, like podiatry or hands, but you get into the total joints, and it's a lot. So if I had to pick one, I'd say general or plastics. I'm pretty comfortable with those. So, number 2, what are my least favorite services and why? Again, I didn't really want to pick a least favorite, but I wrote down here anything that requires me to wear lead. I hate wearing lead. It's so hot and over. I feel so constricted. I don't like it. Or hemorrhoidectomies. I don't like doing those. It was not fun for me the day that I did those all day. So yeah. Like I said, I didn't really want to pick a least favorite or a most favorite while I'm still in school. I don't want to kind of confine myself to a certain service quite yet. Sorry, I got a little bit of a head cold going on here, so if you hear me sniffling, that's why. Is there a service I see myself working after graduation? Again, I don't want to limit myself, especially when I'm brand new. I've heard that's one of the worst things you can do as a new tech is limit yourself to one service. You kind of lose your skills that you've learned for the other ones. I want to kind of be a tech for all services, a jack of all trades, if you will. So I don't want to go straight into a service, I don't think, after graduation. If I have to, then again, it would probably be plastics or general. That's just where I feel the most comfy. It's what I've done the most of. I've done a lot of plastics, and I've been told by quite a few doctors that I'm good at it. So, I mean, if I had to pick a service to go into right out of school, that's what I would probably pick. You know that you're making a difference in that patient's life. They're paying for it. They're wanting it done. So you can feel good about it, helping them out, making them feel better about themselves. Is this different from what the service I imagined working in the beginning? In the beginning, I didn't have a service picked out. didn't really know enough about scrubbing or being a surge tech to even know the different services. Once we got into it a little bit, I was kind of leaning towards ortho just because of the power tools, and I like the challenge of the bigger cases, which, I can still see myself doing ortho. But like I said, I don't like wearing lead, and most ortho cases require you to wear lead, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. What do I think has been the most challenging skill to learn and why? I think anything dealing with the sutures, there's just so many different types, materials, needles, length to cut the sutures. There's so much dealing with sutures, and I feel like we didn't really cover them a whole lot in class or in labs. We weren't really exposed to them a whole bunch. I know we had to do a suture book, but I don't know, I feel like it should have been more exposure in class and in clinical. Like all the different types of needles, and I don't know, the different lengths to cut them, and there's just so much going on with sutures, and they're so important. They're used in pretty much every case, so they're definitely important. They definitely need to be learned and covered, and so that's what I got to keep working on is sutures. Learning a little bit, trying to focus on everything else, though it's not coming as fast as I want it to. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get that down faster. But that's definitely the most challenging skill. Or trying to pass with my left hand, picking up instruments with my left hand and passing left-handed. Everything just seems so awkward to pass that way. Yeah, I don't know. I just haven't really gotten that down to where I'm comfy doing that yet. I've tried to purposely not use my right hand in easier cases that I'm more comfortable with, or even at home when I'm in the kitchen or doing something that requires my hands. I try not to use my right hand just so I can get my left hand more comfortable with doing things like that. But I haven't found out the right angles or the way to make passing comfortable with my left hand. I always feel like I'm passing it wrong. Most doctors are right-handed, and it's just kind of awkward for me to try and get things into the right hand with my left hand. So I'm trying to learn and master that skill still. That one's been kind of difficult and challenging. But other than those two things, I'm feeling pretty confident, pretty good about my skills and where I'm at. I've gotten lots of good reviews and comments from doctors and preceptors. Lots of preceptors are giving me big comments, big compliments. They're standing way off to the side. They're not trying to mess with my stuff anymore. They're confident in me and my abilities, which is nice. So that's always nice. I'm out of my questions now, so we'll go back and look through some of my cases since our last vlog, see what I've done. I've worked with Dr. Jeffries a whole bunch. He's can be a difficult doctor to work with sometimes. Haven't really had any problems with him myself. He's pretty comfortable with me being his tech. we've done a lot of augmentations and fat grafting and post nose closures. So that's that's nice. I did have a case on a 2.5, 3-year-old. It was an elbow excision of a lesion. It was kind of difficult for me just because I have a 3-year-old at home. It was tough for me to see him scared and everything before surgery, before he went under anesthesia. He was just really nervous and scared, and it made me think about my own boy, and that was kind of difficult for me. It wasn't so bad once we got going and the drapes were on. I couldn't really, you kind of forget that the patient's so young after that point, but when he first came into the room and he was laying on the bed and he was all scared, it was kind of difficult for me. So that was a challenge. Did like I said, I had a full day of hemorrhoidectomies or anal mass excisions. That was not the best day. Didn't really enjoy that a whole lot. I know it's part of the job, you gotta do it every once in a while, but I'd like to avoid those days if I can. I did a full abdominoplasty with Dr. Jeffries a week or so ago. That was interesting and fun. We tried out some new instruments. We had a giant retractor that looked similar to the cat's paws, but it was just much bigger. We nicknamed it the lion's paw. It was interesting to see. And then we had a big retractor, handheld retractor that connected to a light source, and it had a light that you could use when you're tunneling up the superior aspect of the abdominal flap. That was beneficial to a point. It was kind of long. The doctor and I and the first assist all agreed it should have been a little bit shorter. It's a little dangerous until you get it deep enough, and then the hooks can hook into the skin. Otherwise the hooks are just kind of hanging out there and you can snag anything on them. I really enjoy the smaller ortho cases like hands and feet. Not so much feet, but hands. They're pretty fun. They're fairly simple setup and passing. I got pretty comfortable passing those instruments and anticipating what the doctor's going to need for those. We saw some pretty gnarly hand versus wood splitter, hand versus table saw. Some pretty gnarly wounds that we had to correct and fix up. That was pretty interesting. So yeah, that's what I got for this vlog. I'm gonna call it a night and go get some rest for tomorrow's clinical. See you guys next time.